So, Doc, I went on to check out the Vodacom thing, right? As we spoke about it before, right? We need to talk about this case, So, let's just go back to the origins of this thing. So, the origins, in 2000, Makate, right, a trainee manager at Vodacom, conceived the idea of Please Call Me, a free service allowing prepaid mobile phone users to send a notification to another user requesting a call back, right? So he pitched the idea to his manager, who is Alan, right? Alan Craig, and who allegedly promised to take care of him, right? If the idea was successful. So basically, Alan had promised Makate to uzompekelela basically if this thing works. You know the type of vibe, right? Now, when I heard that, Mina Padi, when I heard that, then my mind went to paperwork, So in my mind, that's the first thing I thought of. No paperwork agreement for the idea, but agreeing to have gotten the idea from him. So the idea that Makate too didn't have papers, like the proposal papers or some contractual thing. Yeah, well, it's like, yo, man, I don't know. Around that, I had a problem with that in the beginning. Now, success. So the Please Call Me service became a huge success, as we know. I mean, Mina now will know better. We're from those days of Please Call Me, right? Please call, I'm outside. Yeah. Please call Puma. We from those days, bro. Please call Puma is there. That's the word, dog. Please call outside. Aye, dog. We used to send those ones. So it was successful and generating significant revenue for Vodacom, right? Initial disputes. This is in 2003 to 2008. When Makate asked for compensation, Vodacom claimed he wasn't entitled to any payment since he wasn't the sole inventor of Please Call Me, right? This is between 2003 to 2008. Then he went to the court, of course, North Gauteng High Court in 2008. Makate approached the North Gauteng High Court, which ruled in his favor, stating that Craig's promise constituted a binding contract. So the court ordered Vodacom to compensate Makate based on the reasonable compensation agreement between the two parties. What it reminded me when I was reading this part around this. Okay, this is the thing. Craig, in this case, him promising to take care of him, that's according to court, it actually was contractual and binding for him to say that.
Yeah, it's a verbal agreement.
It's a verbal agreement, right? Now, this took me just a bit off the topic. Many people don't understand this. Guys, when you write a letter to your girlfriend's family to say, I'm going to come to Lobola, and then you do not come, do you know that you are married, buddy, by then, under customary law? It's too late for you.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but the Lobola doesn't matter, dog. You are in. Writing a proposal letter and saying, next year I'm coming to Lobola, so and so. That's it. Did you know that?
So you have tied yourself.
You are, in customary law, you are married. You saying you are coming on this date, that's it. Customary law, you are married. So, Senya before getting to the date of you paying Lobola, it's too late already. The letter is binding. You are married already.
So it's up to the brains or the smarts of the people to actually keep that letter.
Yeah, always people actually pay Lobola and then break up with people and think, we are not married. No. Customary law, it's late. Lobola is just added evidence to say you got married to this person.
Yeah, dog. That's, yeah. Even I didn't know that. I'm not going to lie about that. I didn't know, Uti.
Yeah,
you can only know these things if, you are academically inclined and then you are aware of it.
Yeah, true. I have to know. And we have too much money to lose like that, my guy. Hey. Our numbers are looking big, dog. Now we only start counting money at 100K, boy. We have to know. Anyway, so after so Makate went to the North Gauteng High Court and he won. They said Craig's promise is binding, right? Cool. Vodacom, Supreme Court of Appeal. Vodacom in 2014 goes to Supreme Court of Appeal. Vodacom appealed the High Court's decisions, right? But the Supreme Court of Appeal upheld the High Court's ruling, confirming that Craig's promise as a binding contract. So the Supreme Court of Appeal ordered Vodacom to negotiate with Makate in good faith to determine fair compensation. This is my problem. To leave these people to negotiate by themselves. I think the courts needed to be straight about this is how much you should pay the person. Yeah, I mean, they have the data of how much the company made. If they're determining that you agreeing that you're going to take care of him is contractually binding, that's it. So why are they not saying this is the amount? Yeah, to say go and thingy. For me, I had a problem with that too. For the courts not being decisive, I had a big problem with that too. Also, remember, Craig, by the way, is not agreeing that he said he's gonna look after him, but he's agreeing that the guy approached him with the idea.
How?
Which would be crazy then to. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Yeah, so Craig, the manager, agrees that yes, the guy approached me with the idea, but I didn't say I was going to take care of him. But anyway, that's 2014 Supreme Court ruling for Makate, right? Now, Vodacom goes to Constitutional Court. Constitutional Court. Vodacom appealed the Supreme Court's appeals, right, decision to the Constitutional Court, right, which ruled that the Supreme Court of Appeals order was binding and that Vodacom and Makate should negotiate in good faith to determine fair compensation. If negotiations failed, the High Court would determine the compensation. This is in 2016. So basically, Makate took Vodacom to High Courts, Gauteng High Courts in 2008. He won. They said Vodacom must pay him, right? And then Vodacom appealed in 2014 in the Supreme Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court of Appeal said the High Court's decision in Gauteng is binding, right? So Vodacom should pay him. And then Vodacom goes to Constitutional Court to appeal the appeal in 2016. You know?
Jeez.
And then the Constitutional Court sends them back and says to them, no, the Supreme Court of Appeals decision stands. You have to pay the guy. You have to compensate him, right? You need to negotiate with him. But in failure to negotiate, you guys should go back to High Court. High Court is where Makate had started in 2008. This shit is fucked up. So compensation disputes. Makate demanded around 9.7 billion. This is allegedly. Approximately 5% of please call me revenue over 18 years. That's Vodacom has already made, right? So while Vodacom, right, offered 47 million, later increased to 80 million with interest. And then this is happening after the Constitutional Court's decision in 2016, by the way. Then in 2020, they had to go back to High Court, as remember the Constitutional Court had said that, right? That if they fail to negotiate, they need to go back to High Court. So go back to High Court where Makate had started in 2008. So after failed negotiations, the High Court determined that Vodacom's liability and ordered the company to pay Makate a percentage of please call me revenue over 18 years, right? Vodacom takes the decision to Supreme Court again in 2022. So Vodacom appealed the High Court's decision again, but the Supreme Court of Appeals upheld the ruling, ordering Vodacom to pay Makate a percentage of please call me revenue. And then Vodacom appealed the appeal again and went to Constitutional Court in 2024, which is the recent thingy that happened, right? And we had the results. So in November 2021. So what happened was Vodacom appealed the Supreme Court of Appeals decision again, And the Constitutional Court had the case, right, on November 2024, 21 November 2024, and the courts upheld Vodacom's appeal, sending the case back to a new panel of the Supreme Court of Appeals for reconsideration. And this is my take, buddy, before you say whatever you want to say. This is my take.
Yeah.
This is my take. This is exactly that what happens. This is a good example of what happens when you're an ordinary person facing big corporation. That's what happens to you. That's when you are when an ordinary human being, just a normal facing a big corporation, that's what happens to you. That's what happens. Vodacom doesn't mind to drag the case as long as it takes, because that's cheaper than to pay this guy 9.7 billion. That's it. That's cheaper. They can drag the case to 50 years and have him die while he's waiting for compensation. It doesn't matter to them. It's cheaper. Because that's not going to be what? 9.5 billion. It's not going to be that much. So as you can imagine, how much would that be? Maybe they can rather pay lawyers to serve them for the next 50 years and pay those lawyers 500 million or 300 million if they have to, rather than to pay the 9.5 billion. They would rather do that. Yeah. And this is what they are doing. And the only way here, imagine a case taking 2 decades. The only way here for this brother, Vodacom users, starting with me, let's boycott them. Let's show them. That's the only way to deal with this. People, let's boycott Vodacom. Let's have this brother out. That's the only way. Let's drop their numbers down. Let's boycott them. Let's try it MTN. Go to MTN. Let's try out MTN. Let's go. Let's start now. Let's boycott Vodacom. That's the only way we can help this brother out. Vodacom users to support this brother so that he gets his compensation. Let's boycott Vodacom. Period. It's the only way. What do you think? But that's my take, bruh. That's my take. Buddy, they lost. They went to the High Court in 2008. They lost. Went to Supreme Court, right, to appeal, right, the High Court decision. They lost. They go to the Constitutional Court. They lost. They go back to the High Court. They lost. They go back to Supreme Court. They lost. And then they appeal the appeal again. Come on, guys.
And what's sad is that the idea that they know they should be giving this man what he deserves. They know. But because they don't want to, they choose this direction, or let's drag it out as long as possible.
The guy is asking, many people saying, 9.5. He's asking for 5% of the revenue generated from his idea. 5% of the revenue. That's what he's asking for.
Bro.
5% of the revenue. Not even 50%. Because another person should be asking for 50%. He's asking for 5% of the revenue. But the problem is, the money is not there. The money is spent. The money was given to the CEOs and whatnot, the board. That's the problem. Probably the money is, obviously, the money is not there. Giving him 9-point-something billion out of Vodacom, I mean, this is kin to basically handing the guy half of the company, I would say. What's your take, buddy?
It's like a Michael Jackson situation in Sony.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to find another way
to
win this thing. If you don't, it means you lose big time.
Yeah. That's basically, you are correct in saying that. That's technically the deal here.
But now the question is, buddy, because I mean, you do research on this, because I mean, you should know more. How long can they keep doing this thing of cycling, going back to appeal? Like, what are other lawyers saying? Can it be the situation that you said in the beginning, where the Supreme Court or whatever court makes a decision, guys, you need to give this man this much money, and it stands to that decision rather than having to be appealed?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure, actually, as I should have searched it, because I'm not sure how much can you appeal things. I'm confused by that. Because also, this is not a criminal case, like, so it's different. It's not like someone has committed crime per se, you know, like someone is in jail, you know, because I can imagine when you are in prison, you cannot appeal and appeal and appeal as much as you like. It takes time to be able to appeal, you know. So how I'm seeing this, as long as they are not paying him, they are happy. They can drag this to whatever time they want because they can afford that rather than to pay him. As I said, if I'm sitting in a Vodacom board and I'm asking myself, how much does it cost me per year to pay lawyers? And someone says 2 million to pay these lawyers. And then I'm like, okay, 2 times 100, that's 200 million. I'd rather pay lawyers for the next 100 years, 200 million, rather than to pay this guy 9.5 billion.
And also I read he's supposed to pay his lawyers 20% of whatever he gets at the end.
Of course, because he cannot afford. Because he cannot afford to pay lawyers, but it's been over 2 decades. How could he have funded? He can't. These lawyers are there now on the basis that at some point they're gonna make money from the case too. So it's their case as much as it's his case. Because they are representing him on those bases.
It's gonna be a long ride.
Yeah, man.
It is.
But Vodacom, I think the only way I am calling all South Africans, guys, let's support the brother. Let's boycott Vodacom. This is the only way to help this brother out. I saw some people were writing letters to Vodacom. You know, they went to different institutions. That's good initiative too. Let's support the brother out, bro. Let's boycott Vodacom. That's the only way, bro. Let's boycott them. Because this is disrespectful to offer him 57 million. It's very disrespectful. 47 million and moving to 80 million. Disrespectful. After they made so much from his idea. That's very disrespectful. That's very disrespectful. That's where I am in regards to this Vodacom case. It actually frustrates me, actually, that we have this type of situation going on.